Hey you guys, it's Monica and welcome back. So today I'm going to be trying out the snow globe tumbler. So I picked up this double walled acrylic tumbler from Stainless Steel Depot. I will leave a direct link to its product page below. And this is like just one of those Mickey Mouse themed cups. I thought it was super cute. I'm not like overly enthusiastic about Disney. But yeah, it also has a hole in the lid for the straw. And so that's how it looks. So first things first that I'm going to do is let's do something with the lid. And so I thought about glittering it, but I had these rhinestones left over from when I made that bling tumbler. Yes, these are the same rhinestones. And I'm going to use the same liquid fusion that I used. Just so you guys know, the liquid fusion is super bomb. I haven't lost a single rhinestone on that bling cup that you saw me do months ago. And so I'm also going to be using the crystal katana. I will leave a link to everything that I use below. And so this is really simple. It is a domed shaped lid, so you kind of have to take that into account when you're laying down your rhinestones. I won't show too much of it, but I'll just kind of show you guys my methodology as I went through this. And so lay down, don't like try to like loop around the whole cup with the liquid fusion because it does start to get tacky once air hits it. And so by the time, if you move as slow as me, by the time you get around the whole cup, you won't have really much stickiness left because that glue would have already started to set up. So just work in small sections with the glue. And you can also switch the glue out into like a more precision tip bottle, but I've found that the tip of this liquid fusion bottle is kind of the perfect size for like the larger stones. So like I'm using SS16 stones. A lot of people like to use SS20. I just like to look better SS16, but I feel like it puts out just like the right bead of glue for SS16 or if you want to use SS20 stones. So I don't feel that you need a precision tip bottle in this case. So this is how our cup is looking once we've gotten those few stones on. I'm going to go ahead and finish the first row, and that's how row one is looking. If being able to see like the backs of the rhinestones in the lid of the cup is going to bother you, you're more than welcome to paint it. You can use acrylic paint, spray paint, whatever works for you. And so for the second row, I'm going to go ahead and just lay down another bead of glue. And it's funny. So I started off trying to do what I called the Windows method in my last video. And you guys tried to come in the comments and correct me, and you all couldn't agree on the name either, which I thought was funny. So I'm going to continue to call it the Windows method since none of us seem to really know what it's called. So yeah, so what I'm doing is just laying down the next of rhinestone in between what is the first row of rhinestones. This method will not work for the entirety of this lid because, like I said, it's domed shaped, and so the diameter of the circle as it goes up and is spherical is going to change as you go up. And so let the goal just be to get the rhinestones on there nice, neat, and in straight lines, and it'll look amazing at the end, I promise. And so not to bore you guys, I'm going to go ahead and finish off the lid off camera because this video is more about the snow globe part and not the rhinestone part. And so that's what the whole thing looks like. I thought, oh my goodness, you guys, it's almost like breathtaking. Like I wanted to stop after this. I thought the cup looked so good. I might buy another one of these and just bling it just because, like I said, I'm not like overly enthusiastic about Disney, but I thought that looks good. And that's how the inside will look. So if you want to paint it, definitely paint it. But it looks amazing. And there's like, I don't have like any kind of special lights. So yeah. All right, y'all. But let's get to the point of this video. We're going to snow globe this tumbler. So you're going to need a double wall tumbler. And you can kind of see when you look in the bottom how it looks like there's a cup inside the cup. That's the kind of cup you're looking for in order to make this method work. Also got my handy dandy drill. This drill is a Drill Master drill. You can pick it up at Harbor Freight if you have one in your area. They're like 25 bucks. And so this part is going to go really fast. And so I'm going to try to explain it very quickly. And so pick a spot on the side of the double wall, not like around that outermost rim. But what I'm doing is pulsing the drill, and I'm gonna move away the material as it comes up. I saw another video, y'all, where the girl, she just drilled straight down. Honey, that is not me. I'm scary. So I'm doing just quick pulses, pulling away that material as is drilling out, applying just the slightest bit of pressure to make sure I'm making downward progress into the cup. Keep pulsing, and you see right there, I just broke through it. And so I'm through it, and I'm going to just back out the drill. So switch out your drill and back it out. Don't try to like yank it out, because I cracked the cup just a little bit, and I wasn't too worried about it because I knew I was going to come back in and open up that hole a little bit. And so that's what the one hole is looking like. And I use my weeding tool. You know, I make all my tools into multi-tools. And so I just use my weeding tool to pull away that excess. And this is the color Cupid. This is a part of our new Valentine's Day releases that comes out today, actually. So yeah, like I said, I'm going to go ahead, because when I tried to start putting that Cupid in that initial hole, the hearts weren't going in very easily. And so I decided to go back in and do the same thing and just open up the hole a little bit. And so this is the part where you kind of can decide how much or how little glitter you want. And so there's no right or wrong. There's no method to the madness. It's whatever you want. Do you want a cup that has more glitter in it, but maybe the glitter doesn't move as much? Or do you want a cup that has maybe a little less glitter, but moves a lot more? And so I kind of tried to fall somewhere in the middle. And so I ended up using, I would say, somewhere between 1/3 of an ounce and maybe 1/2 of an ounce, probably closer to 1/3 of an ounce of glitter in my cup. And so I thought that was the happy balance for what I was going for this size cup. And I believe this is a 16-ounce cup. Again, I will leave a direct link to it below so you guys can see. And I found that what worked best for me was kind of like putting this on here and kind of just using my weeding tool again to just push it through the hole. And then once it got kind of full on the surface, I tap it out a little bit. Or you can just kind of put it on the top and I'll just like tap it in the hole. The ease of it all works with depending on how big you make your hole. My hole isn't that big. And so I think using the weeding tool with this pointed edge definitely helped me guide the direction of where I need to go best. And so that's the point I decided to stop at. I thought that was plenty enough glitter. I thought that would still give me space for movement, as well as, still being able to see through the cup. And so now we need to address this hole that's in the cup. And so I'm going to be using vegetable glycerin. I picked this up on Amazon. It was only about $6 for this big 16-ounce bottle. So you can snow globe your little heart out if you so choose. And I'm going to be using, this is an OXO liquid measuring cup. If y'all don't have these OXO cups in your kitchen, I know it's off subject, but definitely get them. I've had mine for years and they are honestly wonderful. Yeah, that's just a little kitchen advice. But yeah, so I'm going to measure out a 1/4 cup of the glycerin, and then I'm going to do a 1/4 cup of water. I just went and got this out of the sink, no kind of special water. So I have about 1/2 cup, and I'm going to just be using this little dropper tool to mix it. It's going to get cloudy at first, and so just keep mixing it until it gets clear. The little dropper tool, it was doing its thing, but not good enough. So I went and just grabbed a little whisk. And then let me just whisk this together real quick, because you're essentially trying to mix oil and water. And so you got to just make sure you mix it real good. Make sure you mix it until it goes back clear, and it will. So don't worry. It takes a minute, but it's very easy. And so this is boring as well. So next I'm going to just take the dropper tool and fill up the cup with the mixture. And I would say, as far as ratio, I did a 50-50 between the water and the vegetable glycerin. I would go more vegetable glycerin if you wanted to move like a little slower, like lava lampish, and more water, of course, if you wanted like more liquidy and more water-ish. So just do your ratio based on whatever works best for you, whatever your personal tastes are. It's going to be beautiful regardless. And once you get that filled up close to the top, you're going to just want to because you see I have this big air bubble. So just take a paper towel, cover up that hole, and shake it. And when you're doing this shaking, make sure you break up all that glitter that's around the bottom rim, because there's air, like just small little air pockets between that glitter that could eventually, mess up your flow. So that's why you see me tapping it and shaking it very vigorously. Because again, my goal is to break up all that glitter. So don't stop shaking it until you break up all that glitter, so you can know how much more liquid. You can see I have like a big air bubble in mine. Once I have everything broken up, that I need to make sure I put more liquid into the cup for. And at this point, you can see I'm wiping my counter. My cup was leaking. It was only leaking on this one side, but you can see those little beads of liquid. And so I checked the product description page, and it doesn't say anything that you can't snow globe it. And like I said, it wasn't leaking completely around the cup. Just this part was leaking. And so, as always in my videos, y'all know I'm not perfect. Don't claim to be, not trying to be. And so I'm like, okay, I need to go ahead and fill this up. So if you get a leak, I guess this is also how to fix a leaky cup video, because I was not going to give up on this cup. I had came too far. So I'm going to go ahead and fill it with more liquid. Trying to compensate for what I'm assuming I'm going to lose through those couple of little holes. Make sure you wipe it down with alcohol as well, because remember, use that vegetable glycerin, and it's oily and it's slick. And so I'm going to be using the artist resin. I'm sorry, the UV, I can't get it. I'm using the less resin, clear UV resin. And I'm going to go ahead, as I'm doing, like starting to fill up this hole, I'm zapping it as I'm putting it in, because I just need to quick cork it so I can address the leaking on the bottom, so I can actually finish the bottom of the cup. All right, so I had like 3 holes that were on the side of this cup that were leaking. I had lost a good amount while I was trying to cork the bottom so I could actually get this going. And so I'm going to just take that same UV resin, just spread it on there and quick coat that as well. That way I can go back to finishing off the bottom. And so I will say that if I would have known this cup was going to leak, that I would have just sealed around that rim before I started, and this wouldn't have been an issue at all. So I don't know what made this cup special as to why I was doing that. But yeah, if you do choose to buy this cup from Stainless Steel Depot, definitely something you want to be aware of. Definitely something you want to address beforehand. And so that was just a piece of transfer tape. And like I said, I quick corked it, flash cured it, just to make sure I create enough layers to make sure this thing is sealed in and it won't leak out the bottom. I put that little piece of transfer tape on, and I'm going to go back in with the UV resin and just cover that whole like indented part on the bottom of the cup and just create a really good seal on the cup. And this is how that bottom looks. You can't even really tell where I drilled and filled at, but you can, like I said, you can see it a little bit, but it's no biggie. And just one more thing I wanted to throw on this video, full disclosure, so you can guys see everything that I did. This makes this repeatable. And so I just, out of fear, I went back and I used the UV resin around the top lip, and I wasn't too worried about that. You're like, what if it gets on the inside of the cup? I made sure it didn't get on the inside of the cup and that it stayed on the top. Also take into account that the lid is going to create that seal between it. So anytime that I do put the lid on, it'll kind of wedge it between the cup and the lid. And so I also went around the sides to cover up any kind of anything that may be there that decided it wanted to leak out. No, ma'am, not on me. And so then once I got that around the whole cup, I do go back in with just a paper towel with some alcohol on it and just clean it up. If you see the cup up close, there's just little rims on it. And so I just cleaned around what was one of the rims on the cup. So you couldn't notice in the transition between one rim to like the full body of the cup. And so that's all I did. I wanted to show you guys this in case you found this video maybe because your cup is leaking, or in case you get this cup and yours leaks. You know, I don't want y'all to be tricked and feel like mine was perfect because I had to go through some things. And that's how it looks. Because I lost some of the liquid, I threw this piece of vinyl on there, you know, so you couldn't see that I was missing some liquid in the top, because when my cup started leaking, I lost it. But I love the way it turned out. I think it turned out super beautiful. I love the lid. I love the body of the cup. It looks so good. So if you like these kind of videos, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment, and I will see you guys in the next one.